I admit I have a pet peeve. Uploading a full-res photo to your website. Can you do it? Yeah, I suppose you could. Should you do it? No, you should not. There is a compromise between large, extreme quality images and a fast-loading, responsive website. Before the video's over, I will show you 3 ways to get your images to the right size for your site. In a world of instant gratification and smartphone browsing, the size of your image is really important, but it doesn't have to be hard. I know it's easy to browse photo sites like Freepik.com or Pixabay and just download the first image that strikes your fancy, but many of those photos are geared toward print and are gigantic as far as the web goes. For reference, proper images for the web should be well under 500 kilobytes, and many full-size images from Freepik can be 10,000 kilobytes or 10 megabytes. We need to shrink those huge files to something manageable for the web. The first concept we need to understand when it comes to changing image file sizes is that of pixels or dimensions. We intuitively understand that pictures are made up of hundreds of rows and columns of pixels. Each of those pixels adds a tiny bit of data to our file size. The file size of this image grows exponentially with the dimensions of the image. This is because you are multiplying the number of rows by the number of columns to get the total number of pixels. Image compression helps here to reclaim some of that data, but that doesn't affect the original amount of data we are compressing. So it's important to choose dimensions for your image that closely relate to what the image will be used for on your site. One thing that websites do that muddies the water around what size we should pick is scaling. Scaling a small image up will make it look grainy and pixelated. On the other hand, you can take a large photo and shrink it down and it will still look crisp. And this is because the web browser is basically throwing out information that's not used. And if your website or the browser is throwing out unused data anyway when a photo is requested, why would we keep the full-res photo on our web server taking up valuable processing and storage space? We could store 20 500 kilobyte files where one 10 megabyte full-res photo lives. Anyway, I've probably already convinced you that shrinking your photos will be beneficial, and for the web, you won't even be able to tell a difference. So let's get familiar with some of the sizes of things so that we can pick intuitively good image sizes. An HD Blu-ray movie is 1080p, which has a size of 1920 wide by 1080 pixels tall. When I design a website, I go for a box width of 1140 pixels or a full width of 1400. When I design email templates, I'll start off with 600 pixels wide. As you can see, your images don't need to be huge to look crisp and clear. As long as you're not scaling your image up, your image is going to be clear. With these sizes in mind, I created a blog post that has a bunch of squares representing various pixel sizes and how that relates to your screen. You can check it out from a phone or a computer and see how different sizes look on those devices. Link in the description below. When you're choosing a size for a photo, keep in mind the use for that photo. Will it be a small author pic that covers 1/12 of the page, or a full-width hero background shot that should be given 100% of the width of the screen? Now that you have an idea about what dimensions are around, let's jump into actually shrinking your images. That brings us to today's affiliate sponsor, Freepik. Freepik allows you to find that perfect photo for your website or design project. Whether you're looking for photos, images, or vectors, Freepik has you covered. Freepik is free to use with attribution, meaning you need to put a link to Freepik in your content. But if you don't want to do that, for less than the cost of a pizza, you can get Freepik Premium, which includes millions of additional pieces of premium content. Now, for a limited time, get 40% off your subscription. Link in the description below. The 3 ways that I would recommend would be: first, Adobe XD. Adobe XD helps you design your site, even if you have a page builder like Elementor. Having an actual design to work from where everything has been curated together makes your site much more professional. But the reason I like XD for making photos the right size is the export function. As you design the whole site, you can size all of your photos and then tell XD to export those photos. When you run the export, XD will output the perfect size photo for you to upload to your site. If you don't have XD, there are 2 more options. On a Mac, you can use the Mac preview to open your image, select all, and then head over to Tools and Adjust Size, where you can then type in the size of the image you want, and boom, smaller image. If you happen to be on Windows, open the image in the Windows preview. Then click on the menu, select Resize, then define Custom Dimensions, where you can put in your own dimensions, and Bob's your uncle. The last thing I like to do is use some compression on my image. At its core, image compression is when you remove or group together certain parts of an image file in order to reduce its file size. Basically, if you have a large portion of the image that's all the same color, perhaps you can describe that in a way that uses less information than specifying the same info for every pixel of that color. In practice, I just drag my image onto the Squash application and it spits out a smaller image file size. Then I upload that to the site and I sleep happy knowing my site can load fast and people can consume my content. Do you have questions or comments about today's video? Leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer your questions. If today's video helped your website building experience, consider liking the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always, thanks for watching.